Hola chicos, hoy ustedes tienen apuntes de los verbos como gustar. ¿Recuerdan el verbo gustar? Aquí las conjugaciones. Y no quiero ver los errores de español uno, por favor. Es muy importante que ustedes puedan usar correctamente el verbo gustar. So this should be familiar to you. And me gusta, te gusta, I'm confident everybody can use those forms correctly. Some of the other forms we need to practice and make sure that we understand and can use them correctly. Some errors like nosotros gustamos, vos gusta, and ella gusta are problematic because they will make it so that a Spanish speaker does not understand what you are saying. There are some errors that are all right and that I won't correct you on, but these ones are ones that we need to avoid because if not, it will impact your communication when you're trying to express yourself. And so we want to get better at doing that correctly and in a way that is intelligible. Aquí tenemos el énfasis. So this is something that is typically optional. You can say me gusta, and that's perfectly fine. If you say a mí me gusta, it adds emphasis. It can say that this is something that you really like. It can also, when you're writing, or if saying what you like is not the first part of your sentence, it can just help clarify who or what we're talking about. And if you look at the él or ella, usted forms and the ustedes, ellos forms, the emphasis is a great way to be specific about who we're talking about. Since le gusta can mean he likes or she likes, you formally likes, or if you give the name of somebody, it can be very helpful if you say a ella le gusta, and then there's less confusion about who it is that likes something. Aquí ustedes tienen ejemplos del verbo gustar. Take a look. I've highlighted some words or letters in each of the three sentences. Why would I do that? What do we think I'm trying to show you? Why is one form of gustar written with the letter N, but the other two are not? If you need another minute to think about these questions, pause the video and then press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, las diferencias. On the left-hand column, we have examples of different sentences, and all of these sentences that use gustar have a verb. So we have gustar immediately followed by the verb comer, the verb escuchar, bailar, and correr. I've included some examples of sentences that use emphasis just so that way you can see. So, me gusta comer galletas, a Carolina le gusta bailar. Right? In the middle, we have example sentences where we are saying that we like one thing. So, me gusta la galleta. Easy. But the verb gustar is agreeing with one cookie. So, even though in the second sentence it says nos gusta, we don't change anything about the verb gustar. So, nos gusta la galleta. The verb gustar is agreeing with la galleta because even though in English we say that the sentence would mean we like the cookie, the literal translation is the cookie is pleasing to us. So the verb agrees with cookie, and that's why it doesn't agree with the word us. So as long as it's one object that somebody likes, it doesn't matter how many people like it. In the third column, we are saying that we like cookies or the cookies. And this is where we add the letter N to the verb gustar. Me gustan las galletas. This makes sense if you think about it, because with AR verbs, the ellos form is the form that ends with the letter N. I just told you that the verb gustar is agreeing with the object after it, and so if there's more than one object, it's like they. So instead of saying the cookie pleases me, we're saying the cookies please me in the sentence me gustan las galletas. So since it's more than one cookie pleasing me, we put the verb as gustan. And we can see in the other examples that it doesn't matter if it's one person who likes the cookies or many people. We are looking for the objects after the verb gustar in order to decide how we want to conjugate the verb. Otros verbos. Aquí, otra vez, tienen una lista de verbos como gustar. All of these verbs behave the same way that gustar does, where you conjugate them in third person singular or third person plural, and you use the indirect object pronoun. The me, the te, the le, the nos, os, or les. So these verbs, some of them you may have seen, some may be new to you. For example, faltar is to miss or be lacking in something. So if you want to say, I'm missing a pencil, me falta un lápiz. Fastidiar is to bother or annoy or anger. Importar means to be important or to matter. Okay? Sobrar, this is a verb that maybe you've never seen. Sobrar is a way to say leftover or remains, right? Extra in this case. So you might say, me sobran 3 copias de la tarea. I have 3 extra copies of the homework. This is a verb that's used very often by Spanish speakers. The verb tocar is a word that you know that means to touch or to play an instrument, but in this context, it can be used to talk about if it's your turn for something. Okay? Quedar, again, is to remain. Apetecer is like to please or to tempt you. So if you go to a restaurant, the waiter might ask if the dessert is appealing to you. Atraer is attract. Parecer is to seem. And aburrir is from the adjective aburrido, so it bores me. I think it's boring. Y hoy quiero demostrar unos verbos interesantes. So some of these verbs from the previous slide you've seen used in the regular present tense. Let's take a look at how they're used in the present tense and how they can be used as a verb like gustar. So, la camisa cuesta 10 euros. The shirt costs 10 euros. Makes sense. Me cuesta recordar el vocabulario. In this context, I'm saying that it's difficult for me to remember the vocabulary. This is a very commonly used phrase in Spanish. So if you want to say, oh, learning Spanish is difficult for me, me cuesta aprender el español. And that's something that would be very good for you to say. It would be something that native speakers would understand, and it's a sentence or a phrase that they use very often. The second example is with the verb tocar, like I mentioned in the previous slide. Mis hermanos y yo tocamos el piano, right? Tocar meaning to play. Hoy les toca a ustedes lavar los platos. So we have that today it's your turn, you all, to wash the dishes. So I have les toca, the turn is yours, and I include the emphasis. And it is possible, and you can see in this sentence, for the emphasis to go after the verb. So Spanish is a little bit more flexible sometimes than English with word order, and this is an example of that. And then the final one, Luis se queda en casa los domingos. We've made this verb reflexive. So he stays in his own home on Sundays. Whereas on the right-hand side, solo le queda 20 euros. He only has left 20 euros in his wallet, or only 20 euros remain in his wallet. Okay. Aquí terminamos con los apuntes, pero si ustedes tienen preguntas, por favor, díganme en clase. Gracias por escuchar.